Broadcasting live from the heart of New York City. Featuring new musical guests every week with a message and meditation from Reverend Justin Epstein. Your weekly destination for a wholesome message and meditation. Welcome to the Unity Center of New York City.
Good morning and welcome to Unity.
Good morning.
Y'all staying nice and dry here in New York City? Yeah, a little misty out there, I understand, huh? A little rain blowing. How about you guys online? Please tell us where you're coming from. We'd love to hear from some of you guys out in some drier weather. Anyway, welcome to Unity. It's a great day wherever you are, right? Wherever we are. Hey, we're lucky to be alive. Aren't we? Yes. We're on a planet with everything, this stuff coming out of the sky called rain. Wow, what is that? What is that stuff falling out of the sky? So, yeah, tell us online. We'd love to hear from you, like to hear your comments. And we have a special service today. We've got Daniel Nahmod with us from California again. And also Sahffi Lynne from Virginia. She was with us at our retreat last summer. So they're both with us today. Today we're doing what we call our concert style service, where we'll do 3 songs in a row at one point. So let's get rolling with the daily word from Joanne.
Good morning, Unity. It's nice to be here, and I'm glad we are all dry. And today's daily word is world peace. Couldn't come at a better time. And our affirmation, which I will read twice, and then on the third reading, I would ask that you, if you will, to join me. I hold a vision of a peaceful world. I hold a vision of a peaceful world. Together, I hold a vision of a peaceful world. The peace I wish to see in the world begins in my own heart. To call upon the peace within me and bring it into the world, I use my spiritual gift of love to feel in harmony with all others. I use my power of imagination to envision the world filled with peace. And through my gift of will, I choose peaceful responses, no matter the circumstances. I envision God's healing, loving power enfolding the earth and all its people. As I claim this spiritual vision, my heart is lifted, and it is easier for me to perpetuate peace. The notion that others are holding the same vision of a peaceful world encourages and comforts me. I pray our shared goal of peace on earth touches every heart and mind in every corner of the globe. Today's scripture is taken from Isaiah 26:3. Those of steadfast mind you keep in peace because they trust in you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. That's a good daily word, right? That takes faith to have that consciousness of peace, of world peace. That is, and Ralph Waldo Emerson said, prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. Prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. In other words, if there's conflict in a relationship or in work situation or in the world, prayer is to think in terms of God's presence. So you know what the facts are. There's a conflict. But prayer is thinking from a higher point of view, which is God's one presence and one power, order, harmony, peace. That's the higher point of view, you see. And that's what can bring forth the solution, an answer. That's very different than reading the paper and going, oh God, this is crazy. This is stupid. Oh, I don't believe this. What an idiot. Or whatever all these thoughts could be. That's where the consciousness is being focused, in the facts with judgment, rather than from a higher point of view, which is, okay, I know this is going on, but through spirit, there's harmony, there's peace, God's presence is coming forth. It's like your body. If there's a physical challenge, you know it's there, and then you begin to acknowledge, I am whole and complete. And, we look for guidance, for healing. So it's important to remember that. Use the imagination, as the Daily Word said, to envision what it is that we want to bring forth and to experience inner peace and then external peace. Today, we are continuing our series, Thrive in 2025, and we're going to talk today about Thrive with Perseverance. Today at 1 o'clock, we're doing a hybrid seminar, What is Unity seminar. It'll be in person and it'll be online, and we'll be talking about unity principles. We'll talk a little bit about the history of unity, the history of this center, and there'll be discussion, and that's happening today. It is a requirement for those of you who are interested in becoming a new member of Unity. If you go through the seminar, you'll learn more about that, but that is one of the major requirements that we have for being a new member. So if you're interested in being a member, please join us for this hybrid seminar. And for those of you online, if you want to experience it online, if you get our weekly email, which you can, by the way, any of you, if you're not getting our weekly email, you can. We just need your email address if we don't have it. We send out a newsletter every week. If you get that, at the end of the service, a link will be shared in that email to you, or you can just get it out of the chat online and experience it that way, okay? So the hybrid will happen today at 1 o'clock, in person and online. Let's do our vision, mission, and core values. It fits the daily word for today. And this is our vision for the world. Like we said, contemplating the facts of life from the highest point of view. This is our highest point of view. So if you would join me together, centered in God, we envision global spiritual enlightenment. Let's say it with a little more energy this time. You ready? Together. Centered in God, we envision global spiritual enlightenment. Boy, I like that energy. Which one do you think gets better results? Yeah, the latter. Excellent. Now, our mission for this Unity Center together, we are a vibrant center of spiritual energy transforming lives. Now, let's say it with vibrancy. Together, we are a vibrant center of spiritual energy transforming lives. All right, very nice. And now the core values that we came up with as a community to embody in the center itself. Together, God-centered, love, sacred service, inclusivity, integrity. That's what we're about. So thank you for that. Our retreat this year is courage, calmness, and confidence. And you're welcome to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be learning about how to embody these qualities. And registration is open. We have brochures in the Welcome Center and a link on the website. I think we already have 10 people signed up. So if you're interested in coming, please do. Last year we had a waiting list. So you can register with the link on the website, or you can register back here in the Welcome Center, I believe. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We are happy you are here with us today, online and in person, and we'd like to give you a warm Unity welcome. Welcome, first-timers. We have a little gift for you if you'd like to receive a gift. Today, just pick up your welcome packet in the back as you leave. And for those of you online, just go to unitycenternyc.com, and we have a first-timer gift for you as well. So thanks for checking us out this morning. Just a reminder to silence our device. We're going to be having some prayer and meditation today. So if you would, please remember to silence your device. Justin Morley is out again this week, so, send him some good, healthy vibes this week. I'm going to be leading the prayer circle right after the service and before our hybrid service, so we are having a prayer circle right after in person, and I will lead that this morning right after the service. Next week, February 23rd at 1 o'clock, I'm offering a workshop on the 5 love languages. 5 love languages. Do you know your love language? Do you know the love language of the people who are important to you? According to Gary Chapman, the author of this hugely best-selling book, we have learned our love languages from our primary caretakers. And so that's how we tend to express love, and that's how we like to receive love. But it can be very limited, because that's what we know. And yet others might have learned different love languages. And so we're going to identify those love languages next Sunday in the workshop and help you to see what is my particular love language and be more aware of the love languages of people you interact with. It's a good communication tool that can be helpful. Next week, we're going to talk about Thrive with Peak Performance next Sunday. And next week, we've got in-person music with Robin Hackett. She's been with us before, so that'll be awesome next week, Robin Hackett. So that's it for Community Highlights. Let's do a little singing. Y'all ready to sing? Okay. With Daniel Nahmod. We're going to do 3 songs in a row and then move into meditation. So here we go with Daniel.
Good morning, the Unity Center of New York City. It's Daniel Nahmod back again, and glad to be. And I hope you had your Wheaties today, because we are going to start. Good morning, the Unity Center of New York City. It's Daniel Nahmod back again, and glad to be. And I hope you had your Wheaties today, because we are going to start with a couple of tunes that might just rock the house. Let us begin, shall we? Oh, I'm from Chicago, so you can't blame me for the blues. Here we go. I can't help it, God makes me want to sing. I can't help it, God makes me want to sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. I am loving every living thing. I can see the face of God in paupers and kings. Oh yeah. And we're all precious, no one less or more. We've all got the same treasure in store. That's why I'm loving every living thing. Here we go, chorus. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. Oh yeah. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. Yeah, yeah. I am rising to a higher place, with the wind at my back and a smile upon my face. Oh yeah. I'm living my dream a little more each day, and it keeps getting easier to find my way. So I am rising to a higher place. Sing it with me, everybody can't help it. God makes me wanna sing. Ooh, ooh. I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing. Oh yeah. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. Sing it with wanna sing. Ooh, I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. One more time, everybody can't help it. God makes me wanna sing. Yeah, I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing and dance. It makes me feel so good, I can do most anything. No, don't sit down yet. Let's do another one. A little bit mellower, but still got some mojo. A song called Oh Your Presence. Here we go. I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, your presence. Oh, your presence. Sing it again. I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, your presence. Oh, your presence. It is great. It is good. It is perfect. Oh, your presence. Oh, your presence. It is great, it is good, it is holy. Oh, your presence, oh, your presence. I can feel it, I can feel it. Oh, your mercy. Your mercy, it is great, it is good, it is perfect. Oh, your presence, oh, your presence, it is great, it is good, it is holy. I can feel it. Oh, your love. Oh, your love. One more time. I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, your love. Oh, your love. Oh, your love. Oh, your love. Deep breath. Sip of water if you've got it. Have a seat. Let's prepare for meditation. Speaking of sacred love. Here we go. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. You are blessed peace. You are blessed peace. Blessed peace. Show the way, God, show the way. I want to live in such a state of grace. Lead the way, God, lead the way. I want to live in such a holy place. Such a holy place. Once more, you are sacred love. You are sacred love. Sacred love is all that you are. You are sacred love, God. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are. Sacred love is all that you are.
I invite you now to sit upright as is comfortable for your body. And a special thank you to Daniel Nahmod. That last song was one written by him. I'm sure the others probably were as well. He's one of our most popular singers in the New Thought movement, actually. So blessed to have him singing just for us. Sacred Love, what a wonderful song. I invite you to let your body relax now by taking a nice, long, deep breath. Exhaling, letting the body relax. And sending the message to every muscle to relax and let go. Relaxing the feet, the calves, the thighs. Letting your abdomen and stomach relax. Relaxing your hands, arms, and shoulders. Relaxing your chest and your back. Just letting go. As you move your attention over each muscle, you just let that muscle relax. Relaxing the muscles in your neck, the front, the back, the sides. Relaxing your jaw, your cheeks, your face, your ears, your nose, your lips, your tongue. Letting your eyes relax. From the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. Letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, relaxing. And bring into your mind now the image of a lake. Perhaps you're in an environment like Switzerland or somewhere where on a spring day or a summer day, and maybe a lake back home when you were a child, somewhere you visited or lived, and feel the warmth of the sun, and the wind is blowing a little bit. It's a warm breeze, but it's creating ripples on the face of the lake. Maybe there's trees in the environment. You can see the trees blowing, the branches moving. Maybe there's even mountains in the background. And you're sitting quietly by this lake with the breeze blowing. And you look in the lake and you really can't make out any images on the lake because it's stirred up by the wind. And you remember the story in the New Testament of Jesus in a storm with his disciples in a boat. And they came over. He was asleep in the boat. He was not worried at all about the storm. And the disciples came over and woke him up, all afraid. They said, the storm, what are we going to do? And Jesus spoke to the storm. He said, peace, be still. And he was demonstrating to them the power of peace. First of all, get peace within your own consciousness. And remember your connection with the source. And the waves died down, the wind died down. And so imagine that you had that kind of consciousness of Jesus. And you speak to the wind. And you say, peace, be still. And there's a calming effect on the wind. And the surface of the lake begins to become calmer. The water's still. Just like your thoughts becoming calmer and still. And you begin to see images in the lake now because it's clear, it's still. You see the reflection of the trees, the mountains, whatever's in your environment there, the birds flying over. And there's a perfect stillness in the water, in the lake. Very calm, very quiet, very still. And for a moment, tune into that stillness within your own being and the quiet now. There is great power in stillness. The scriptures say, "In quiet and confidence will be your strength." In the quiet and the stillness, at the center of your being, a source of peace for your soul. A source of strength and power. Keep on keeping on to renew your spirit in the midst of life. Imagine that peace now. And that strength filling every cell of your body. Feel that the power of God, the power of Spirit, is uplifting your mind, your brain, your emotions, your body. Lifting you up. There's another beautiful verse. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. To wait upon the Lord comes from the Hebrew word kavah, which means to bind together. To bind yourself with your higher self. To bind you with God within you. Resting in the quiet, resting in the stillness. To be renewed by this inner reservoir of power and of strength and of stillness. Wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. In the silence now again, in the silence. And from this place of stillness, from this place of God, experiencing God, experiencing Spirit, which is a high place. Remember Emerson, prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. We're in this high place right now of knowing God within us. And so we pray from this perspective now. And we project this awareness to our loved ones and friends, and we see the highest and best within them. We acknowledge that no matter what challenges they might be experiencing right now, that they are children of God, they are expressions of Spirit, they are whole and complete. They are strong, they are power-filled, they are peace-filled, and they are being guided and directed. Know this for them. Know for them what they may not be able to know for themselves at this moment. And we extend that blessing to all those who've requested prayer through the Unity Center of New York City. And we extend that awareness to all people everywhere on the planet. And we extend love and light to the planet itself, to all the animals, to all of life. And we send out waves of love and light throughout the universe. So I'd like us to now further be instruments of this healing energy by rubbing the palms of the hands together, magnetizing the hands. And we're going to chant 3 times that ancient, beautiful Sanskrit word, Om, pronounced O-M. And as we do, feel the energy flowing through you and just trust that it's flowing out as a blessing to whoever is in need of it. Peace. Amen. And we bring our awareness now back to the room where we are, feeling the chair beneath us, moving toes, fingers, grounding ourselves, and bringing this new consciousness. We've allowed a little bit more of who we are, a little more of the kingdom of God within, our higher self, allowed more of that activity to flow through us, and we now trust and let it guide and direct us through the rest of our time. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, great saints and sages of all religions. And now we'll enjoy Sahffi Lynne sharing her song, Focus.
Bittersweet this life, bittersweet this life that's taken me on this ride, bittersweet the pain that sheltered me from the rain. Why am I fighting when lies behind me are just seasons of growth? What am I learning? Stay completely still until I find my focus. Stay completely still, stay completely still, focus. Stay completely still and focus on my breath. Bittersweet the truth, it flows like waterfalls between me and you. Bittersweet this time, we've come together but we don't know the next rhyme. Why are we fighting when lies behind us are just seasons of growth? What are we learning? Stay completely still until we find our focus. Stay completely still, stay completely still, focus. Stay completely still and focus on our similarities, our peace and our clarity, love and humanity. We're all in this together. Bittersweet is death, but what is life without this old friend? Bittersweet our goodbye, but I know I'll see you on the other side. Why am I fighting when lies ahead of me are seasons of growth? What am I learning? Stay completely still until I find my focus. Stay completely still, stay
Thank you, Sahffi Lynne. Some of you have heard me talk about having headaches over the past 14 years or so, and it's something that is usually happens when I've been sleeping. You know, I wake up with it. It's something to do with whatever. But I've gone to doctors and neurologists and chiropractors and osteopaths, and I've done a lot of stuff, and I've learned how to manage the pain pretty well. I've learned how to catch it in the beginning and manage it. And about a month ago, I was listening to a podcast, and it was a golf podcast, surprise, shocking. And they mentioned, I heard about a pro who was an expert in biomechanics, how the body moves, especially with a golf swing. What's connected to what? How does it move? And he was from England. I contacted him. And he said, well, I'm going to be in Orlando on such and such a date. I've got a 2-hour window if you'd like to come for a lesson. So I went for the lesson. He attached these wires and stuff to my body, and I hit some golf shots, and he could see how the body was moving. I was so impressed by his understanding of what was connected to what. I said, you know, I've been having these headaches, and you're so knowledgeable biomechanics, maybe you know somebody who could be of help to me. He said, well, as a matter of fact, Justin, there's a physical therapist person, in New Jersey that I've worked with. He's worked with pros. We've worked together. Why don't you go see him? So I went to see this physical therapist, and out of all the people I've seen over the years, doctors, neurologists, blah, 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 he knew exactly in my body the points that were responsible for what was happening in my body. He put his hands right in the exact point. He says it's a C2, and yep, right here, and they're here. He said there's tightness up there in your upper spine. You've got tightness there. And he gave me exercises to do, which I'm doing now, and intend to go back to him a number of times to keep loosening up those areas. And hey, I do flexibility stuff every single day. I mean, for whatever reason, it's tight up there. And the point is perseverance. Perseverance. Keeping on, open to the solutions, open to the journey, learning as you go from whatever the experience might be. And that's our message today, is thriving through perseverance. Keeping on, keeping on. I love the thing that the late Dr. Robert Schuller wrote. Remember him? Dr. Robert Schuller? And Jesus said, when you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall move, and nothing shall be impossible to you. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to literally move a mountain, but move your mountain through persistence. It doesn't mean, oh, my faith's not big enough. No, it means keep having faith, keep moving on, keep doing what you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, keep having the faith to keep moving. Robert Schuller wrote this, when faced with a mountain, I will not quit. I will keep on striving until I climb over, find a pass through, tunnel underneath, or simply stay and turn the mountain into a gold mine with God's help. That's faith, isn't it? Keeping on, facing the mountain, whatever that mountain is, and continuing to persevere. Now, I have a question for you. You know, this time of year, people have already abandoned their goals. This time of year, we all did the burning bowl, we did the what's your dream, and People have already abandoned their resolutions. They've already forgotten about their dreams. They've already tried something and failed and gave up on it, or the weather's bad, the this, the that, whatever. This is a reminder to dust off that dream, dust off that goal, or to reconsider and to ask yourself, what is so important to me that I'm willing to commit to it? What is it that I would like that's so important to me that I want so badly that I can taste it, that I'm willing to put the energy and the commitment into it? Can you think of anything in your life right now that you really, really, really want to experience, to achieve, to accomplish, to do? Whether it has to do with your health, whether it has to do with fitness, whether it has to do with your money financially, whether it has to do with being an entrepreneur, an actor, a writer, a singer, a musician. What is it? A relationship? World events? The community? What are you willing to commit yourself to do? Because that's the key. That's a very important question. What am I willing to commit myself to? Let me give you an example. It's another golf example, but it gives the point. There was a little guy, 5'7", 130 pounds. His name was Paul Runyon. How many of you heard of Sam Snead? Sam Snead is arguably one of the greatest golfers of all time because he won 100 tournaments or so. I mean, he won, I think, one more than Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods wants to win one more tournament to be able to tie Sam Snead's win record, right? Sam Snead was a big guy. He was 6 foot. He was a big guy. He hit the ball a mile. And Paul Runyon, little guy, 5'7", 130 pounds. Well, Paul Runyon beat Sam Snead for the PGA Championship, which is a major. Sam Snead was hitting the ball like 70 yards past Paul Runyon. But Paul Runyon was so good from 100 yards in that he could beat people. He was like the leading money winner for like 3 years. He could beat people because he was good from 100 yards in. Well, he was a popular in his later years. He became a teacher later on after the war, and he was a popular speaker to PGA pros and teachers. So when he was 90 years old, he was invited to come back and speak to the same group again. And now listen to this. Talk about commitment. 90 years old. He said to these pros, he said, I want to apologize to you guys for something, and girls. A year ago, I said that I was going to practice my short game, which is 100 yards in, 2 hours a day, every day. And I want to apologize to you because I missed 3 days. And the place was absolutely silent. The pros in that room and teachers were stunned. Here's this 90-year-old man who spent 2 hours a day practicing what was important to him for 362 days out of the year. He said, I hope you did better than I did. They were stunned. That's commitment. That's commitment. And that's what we're talking about here. What is so important to you that you would be willing to devote yourself to it, at least whatever it's going to take to create and get the result that you want, right? And that applies to everything. Because, here's the thing. There aren't people who are special. There are not people who, they're talented, they're this, they're that. They've all developed it. right? They've developed the skills. They developed it. They're just willing to do what it takes to get the results that they want to get, you see? And that's what we're talking about. What do you want to do? What can you do for yourself? And one of the things that we can learn from this whole experience is to recognize that everything has its downside. Right? No matter what job or career a person is in, there's always stuff that people would rather not have to do. Isn't it true? The important part, as has been demonstrated by people who are really good at what they do, they love the whole job. They've learned to love all of it. Learning to love all of it. I have a friend who's a salesperson. He loves selling. He likes interacting with people. He loves getting to know people. He loves, offering his service and product to people. He loves it. But there's always stuff that's not fun, like the paperwork. Or you do your job and, he sells to a customer and maybe the delivery is delayed, or the people on this end didn't do their job. So now his customer, he needs to make sure that they do what they do so his customer gets what he promised they would get. There's always stuff that we'd rather not do, but because he loves selling, he's passionate for what he does. It's true for everything. It's true for everything. Learning to love relationships, they require effort, don't they? They require work. They require creativity. They require showing up, learning to be our best self as much as possible. And it takes effort and persistence, perseverance. So it's looking to find, what is it about this job? What is it about the relationship that I love? What is it about what I do that I love that makes the other stuff worth it? Does this make sense? What is it that I really like about this? And sometimes, unfortunately, not everyone does work that they love. And so it's important to learn to discover that inner passion. That is our true nature as a spiritual being. And to start to look for, what do I love about this? Hey, I've got a job. 1, right? I got a job. 2, maybe you're inside. You're not being rained on. I don't know what it is. But the point is looking for what it is that we can love about what we do, so that we can find some pleasure and joy in it and keep on persevering at it. Make sense? Keep on keeping on in that way. Now, let's look at how perseverance doesn't just mean gritting your teeth and using all this willpower to succeed. I'm going to do this. I'm going to succeed. How can it not just be about that? There is the element of having to do that to some degree. I was reading James Clear, who wrote The Atomic Habits. Remember, we did the Atomic Habits experience here. And he wrote a great book. And toward the end of the book, there's a chapter that, most people won't get to, because did you know statistically most people don't read past the first chapter of a book? Did you know that? A lot of people will not read past the first chapter. In fact, research shows that when people buy a book, they feel like they've already solved their problem by buying the book. And so the book never gets read. How many of you have books on your shelf that never got read? I have books that I've never read. It's like you got a problem, you see the title and the cover, and I got to get that. And then you buy it, and then it sits on the shelf. Anyway, there's a great chapter in the back where he talks about he would play baseball till he got injured. And so he wanted to do something else, so he started weightlifting. And he was doing weightlifting on a team. And one of the practice sessions, a world-class coach came in, an elite weightlifting coach who had coached thousands of people, even Olympians. And James asked him, he said, what's the difference between an average person and a very successful weightlifting guy? And what's the difference between someone who's average and someone who's very successful? And after the coach said some other stuff like, well, talent and genes and some of this other stuff, which, we could challenge some of that probably. He then said, bottom line, what it comes down to is the ability to embrace and love boredom. Because in weightlifting, it's somebody who can embrace the boredom of working out every day and doing the same lifts every day. So there's something to being able to go, yeah, I don't really feel like exercising today, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know why? Because I'm committed to doing it. I'm going to do it anyway because I like feeling energetic. I like being healthy. I want to live and be healthy and strong and limber my whole life, for example. Right? It's embracing that some stuff can become boring. This is what James Clear says. When a habit is truly important to you, you have to be willing to stick to it in any mood. Professionals take action even when the mood isn't right. They might not enjoy it, but they find a way to put the reps in. There have been a lot of sets, he's talking about weights now, weightlifting. There have been a lot of sets that I haven't felt like finishing, but I've never regretted doing the workout. There have been a lot of articles I haven't felt like writing, but I've never regretted publishing on schedule. There have been a lot of days I've felt like relaxing, but I've never regretted showing up and working on something that was important to me. Isn't that cool? I love that. You can regret not doing it, but he's never regretted doing it, even embracing the boredom of it, because of the pride and the satisfaction and the results that come from it. People who start to meditate and to pray, if you're a beginner at it, it can be kind of boring in the beginning. You may not get the results that where's this bliss? I know of a lady who she started meditating and a couple months later came back to her teacher and said, I don't understand it. I've been meditating. I'm not enlightened yet. Whoa, good luck, lady. It takes some practice before you start to experience the fruits of prayer and meditation. And it takes just showing up, not when we just feel like it. The people who want to write a book or write a screenplay or write a musical or whatever, write music. The people who succeed at this stuff, and we can read about it, they don't write when they feel like writing. They don't write when they're inspired to write. They set a time to write, period, and they show up. Every morning at this time, this is what I do. I write. That's what they do. And then in time, as they do that, writing starts to happen. It starts to happen. But, there's got to be a lot of days where I don't feel like writing. I don't feel like facing this challenge of looking at a blank piece of paper and I'm not sure what I'm going to put on it. But they show up and they do it. Even though sometimes it's like, I've been writing 5 days in a row, I don't feel like writing. Of course, we got to learn also when you need a break too. When you need a break. Some people need a break. They've been working out every day, they got to take a break. They've been writing every day, they need a break. But most people, as one sports psychologist said, most people don't need to worry about a break. Most people need to be challenged to persevere. Keep on keeping on. That's what most people do. So let's talk about, instead of this gritting your teeth to do it, let's talk about how habits can be used to direct us in a way that we can persevere. How many of you be interested and excited to make persevering easier? How many of you would like it to be natural results to happen for you, that you don't have to grit your teeth to get a result? That's what we're going to be talking about now. And so understand that habits, good habits, are a way of persevering. When you implement good habits, then you're doing things on a regular basis that lead to the results that we want. And so we can understand a habit through three simple things. One is a cue, the other is a behavior, and the other is a reward. Okay, that's what a habit is. A habit is a result of a cue in your environment, which then triggers your subconscious mind to perform a behavior. And then there's a reward for the behavior. So let's say somebody's watching television. On the television, a pizza commercial comes on. That's an external cue, right? The pizza commercial. That cues the subconscious to go, yum, I'd like some pizza or something. And then they get up, they go and get something to eat. They get a snack, whether they needed it or not. That's an external cue, right? It cued them, it triggered the subconscious mind. That's how the subconscious works. Now, the key is learning that through your conscious mind, we can retrain the subconscious to help us do what it is that we want it to do, to persevere, to persevere. How many of you need some good habits to help you achieve the results that are in your life? How many of you, we talked about what are you committed to doing? So what are the cues? Cues can be external and they can be internal. Cues are both. You can't get rid of all of your external cues. That's impossible. So a lot of it is internal. A lot of the cues are internal. Imagine a person who comes home from work and they're tired, fatigued, and they're a little stressed. They walk in the door and they see the cabinet with the liquor in it. Automatically they think, well, let me have a drink to get the edge off. So they go and get a drink. And they're planning to exercise from 6:30 to 8, somewhere in there, because they got a family, they got a job. The only time they can really work out is between 6:30 and 8. But when they walk in the door, they're tired and fatigued. That's the cue. Tired and fatigued. They see the liquor, they have a drink. Okay. Then they sit down at dinner, they have a nice dinner, they have a glass of wine with dinner. Now they're a little tipsy, they're a little full. And so they're walking by the TV, another cue, and they say, let me just watch a few minutes of the TV show. So they sit down. You know the drill. It's not a few minutes. Now they're eating into their time they were going to work out. Now it's too late to work out. Oh, you know what? I got to go to bed so that I can get up in the morning. So that's how the habits worked. The cue of being tired, stressed, then the liquor, then the food and the wine. Now the TV was a trigger, and the subconscious took over, and they didn't do what was important to them. So here's the thing. Your subconscious, my subconscious, can work for us, but it also has bad habits ingrained in it. Now, how is this a spiritual message? You are awareness. You in there are awareness. It takes awareness to shift your habits. It takes awareness to reprogram your subconscious. You follow me? Everything in your life and in my life is connected to your spirituality. You get that? Amen. If you're not achieving the things that you want to achieve, it's connected to your spirituality. You're the one that's in there, and you're letting your subconscious run your life instead of you running your subconscious. You follow? So let's talk about how do we let these habits lead us to help us do what's important to us. And one of the things is to first identify the cues. What are the things that are triggering your, let's call them bad habits? They're really just habits, but they're bad habits. Call them bad habits. What's triggering your bad habits? You're wanting a certain result. What's triggering the bad habits to procrastinate or to eat junk food or whatever it might be, to watch too much TV or to social media, you know? What is the trigger? I have a trigger for you. I noticed, and I rarely did this, but whenever I did it, sometimes right before I was go to bed, I'd turn off my phone. Well, when I looked at the home screen to turn off my phone, I saw the TikTok app. Trigger. Now, maybe the trigger was, I don't really want to go to bed. I want to do something, you know, I want to stay up a little longer. I don't know exactly what it was. But when I saw the trigger for me was turning off my phone and seeing the TikTok app. Let me just watch a video on TikTok. Well, you know how well that went. Not well. You know, then it's another video and another video and another video. And now I spent 30 minutes looking at my phone instead of getting ready for bed. So that was a cue. That was a trigger. What are the triggers for you? For the habit. That's step one. Step two is eliminate the cues, which is very difficult to do. I mean, how are you going to not see ads for food? That's impossible. But you got to notice what causes inside of you that cues you to do what it is that you're doing. So eliminate the cue or plan a different response. Plan a different response. Well, what I did was I took the TikTok app and moved it to another screen on my phone so that when I'm ready to go to bed to turn my phone on, I don't see the TikTok app. And I don't think I've been on TikTok since, other than to post something. It worked. Plan your response. How could you respond differently? Let me give you an example. Dr. Rotella, a renowned sports psychologist, shared an example of a man who wanted to get fit. He wanted to get fit. I like fitness because it's measurable. Everyone wants to be healthy, right? We all want to be healthy. We all want to look good and feel good, don't we? So this man liked to play golf with his buddies, and at the end of a round, they would go to the bar. And his buddies would have a beer, so he would, have a beer with them. But what would happen is, one beer, and then the pretzels, he would have a beer, then he would eat the pretzels, then he would eat the peanuts, and then he would have another beer, he'd have 4 beers. And he would, to get healthy, he would walk the round instead of riding in a cart. But then after, he would drink 4 beers and eat the peanuts and pretzels. So now, not only was he not healthy, he was adding unhealthy stuff to his diet. So he had to recognize the cues. What are the cues? Now place yourself. What are the cues in your life? He had to recognize, okay, after the round of golf, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. That's a cue. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. Then when he went into the bar, he would see the friends drinking a beer. That was a cue. Oh, they're drinking a beer. I think I'll drink a beer. Oh, look, there's the pretzels and the peanuts. I'll have some pretzels and peanuts. Had to recognize the cues. So recognize the cue and then plan a different response to the cues. So he decided, first of all, I'm going to eat a big breakfast with some protein. I'm going to eat a healthy breakfast. And then during the round, I'm going to drink lots of water. so that after the round, I'm not so famished. I've also had plenty of fluid that I've been drinking, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to drink some seltzer water. There are some other things that he did, but that's the first point, is to plan a different response to your cues. Now, people who are really exceptional, they will use cues that the average person will use as excuses to give up on their goals. Right? The exceptional person who really wants to achieve, and you're an exceptional person, you are interested in growth and spiritual development and moving forward with your life. The exceptional person who wants to be fit, for instance, it'll be raining and they won't go, oh, it's raining, well, I'm not going to work out. No, they say, okay, it's raining, what can I do indoors? Or, gee, let me put on my rain gear. The exceptional person will go, gee, it's snowing outside. I can't practice my basketball today. The exceptional person will go, you know what? I'm going to scrape off the court and I'm going to shoot baskets anyway and get a leg up on my competition. Because I'll be getting practice in when they'll all be going, oh, it's snowing out there. We can't practice today. The exceptional person will take what most people consider and use as excuses and will use it as a trigger, a cue to actually improve themselves. For example, going to a banquet. How many of y'all have been to a banquet? It's so easy to eat more than we need, right, at a banquet. Someone who is exceptional will go to a banquet and go, okay, first of all, they may choose to eat the healthy stuff that's there, or they will just be satisfied and find pride in resisting the temptation of eating the junk. In business or in sales, the exceptional people will use the adversities to trigger positive behavior. Like this, I love the classic book, Think and Grow Rich, with Napoleon Hill. How many of you have read that book or heard of that book? Where he interviewed 500 of the most successful people of his day. And that book has influenced a lot of people. It's taught them how to manage the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And he told the story of a man named R.U. Darby. R.U. Darby, this is many years ago when R.U. Darby lived, and his uncle got gold fever, gold rush fever. He wanted to go out west and get some gold. So he went out west to Colorado and started digging for gold, shoveling and with a pick and digging for gold. And that gold, he found some gold ore, and he got all excited. So he went back home and he told his family and friends that he had found some gold. He covered up the place. He quietly went back home, and he said, but we need more equipment. We need equipment. So he got his friends and relatives, they contributed money so they could buy some equipment to get that gold out of the ground, and they had the equipment delivered. So the uncle took his nephew R.U. Darby with him, and they went back to mine that gold. And they started to drill down, and they filled up a car full of this ore, and they took it to a smelter, and they examined it, and what they discovered is, oh my God, you got one of the best gold mines in all of Colorado right here. They got all excited, and they started to keep drilling and drilling and drilling, and then the gold stopped. They needed 2 more carts full to be able to pay back for the equipment that they bought, and it stopped. So they kept drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling and drilling. Finally, they gave up. They quit. They sold the equipment for a couple of $100 to a local junk guy, and they took the train back home. Well, the junk guy was no dumb junk guy. He called in an engineer who assessed the mine, a mining engineer. And he said, you know what? The owners didn't understand fault lines. That it looks that if he just went 3 feet further with the drilling, he would have discovered gold. R.U. Darby and his uncle stopped 3 feet from gold. 3 feet from gold. That junk dealer made millions of dollars by going 3 feet further. But here's what this R.U. Darby did. He had to pay back all his friends and relatives. He had to pay them all back. He was a young man. It took him years to do it. But he profited from his failure, from not persisting. He used the Q in selling. He went into selling life insurance or insurance. He became one of the best insurance salesmen in the country. And he said every time, this is what he would say to himself in sales. He would say, I stopped 3 feet from gold. And I will not stop when I get a no from another person who I'm trying to sell insurance to. And he used that experience to keeping on in his business and became very successful and sold, made the money back and more because he used that cue in a positive way. So first of all, notice what are the cues. Secondly, plan a different response. A lot of salespeople quit after the first no. They never go back to the salesperson. It's pretty well known now that it takes 5 no's to get a yes. Well, R.U. Darby, when he got a no, he would tell himself, I stopped 3 feet from gold, and I will not stop when I get a no from a customer. See, that's what we're talking about, to persevere. Using our habits in a positive way. Some 4 ways to enforce our good habits are, first of all, to enlist the support of other people to help us with the habit. That guy who played the round of golf and wanted to be fit, after the round, he's hungry, he would ask the bartender, would you mind maybe putting the pretzels and the peanuts a little further away? He would ask his friends, in the foursome, hey, would you mind foregoing the snacks at the table? Getting support, getting people to help us with what it is that we're trying to do. Telling them, hey, help me, I don't want to drink a beer. I want to drink some seltzer. Would you mind supporting me with that? What kind of support can you enlist for yourself? That's what coaches do. That's what teams do for each other. They support each other. They help each other. I remember when my parents told me as a little kid, Justin, if you want to keep playing football, you got to get your grades up. Boy, I got my grades up. Support. It wasn't fun support, but it was support. Hey, and for every A and B you make, we'll take you to the game room, Justin. That's the carrot and the stick. It worked. Second, use visualization. We talked about it last week. See yourself going through the situation and changing your choices. Like this man in the foursome. He could visualize finishing, first of all, eating a nice breakfast. He could visualize drinking water during the round. He could visualize after the round going in the restaurant and drinking seltzer water instead of having a beer. He could visualize, moving the pretzels and the nuts and eating something healthy after the round. What are the cues that get in your way? Visualize yourself making a different choice. The person who lights up a cigarette, that's a hard thing to give up, right? Smoking. A person has given up smoking for a month. They go to a party. They're feeling a little anxiety of being, meeting new people. And all of a sudden, They think, well, let me have a drink or two to quell my anxiety. And now they're feeling a little freer, but they smell some cigarette smoke, and so next thing you know, they're lighting up without even thinking about it, because alcohol will dim the conscious mind, right? Alcohol will numb that. You're not as clear to make choices. So using the conscious mind to reprogram the subconscious. So that person could visualize going to a party and feeling a little nervous about meeting new people, but then maybe smelling the cigarette smoke and going outside and breathing some fresh air. Or drinking a soda instead of alcohol. You see, putting a reward in there of some kind. But using this is very powerful stuff. I don't know if, your subconscious can be retrained by how we think, by our conscious mind. So visualizing. By the way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with alcohol. I'm not saying that at all, or having a drink. There's nothing wrong with it. But it does affect the conscious mind. So this person could visualize going to that party and drinking a glass of water instead if she wants to overcome smoking. And then third, writing down your progress can be very helpful. That's where a to-do list can come in place. If you're wanting to overcome procrastination, for example, writing down the things that you get done can give a feeling of satisfaction and reward when you write down, well, I did this today, I did that today, and it could be the smallest things, giving you a reward and being able to give you some satisfaction in what you're accomplishing. And then lastly, keeping your new goals in mind. Keeping those goals in mind. That's the problem. People forget their goals. They forget what's important to them. And so now it's very easy to let the subconscious take over. The subconscious is just going to do the same old thing that it always did. Walk in, tired, fatigued, see this and take the snack, turn on the TV, whatever it does. Oh, it's raining. I'm going to go back to bed. I'm being a little challenging today, aren't I? It's that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. We got to dust off those goals and those things that are important to us and start to get back on that track again. Unlike a lot of people who've already given up on themselves. So being able to, I forgot what I was saying. Keep the new goals in mind, right? We've got to have the goal in our mind, otherwise we're going to slip right back into the subconscious taking over again. We're going to slip right back until it becomes an automatic habit that you don't have to think about, and even still, because it can become boring, you still have to know what your goal is. Sometimes I don't really feel like going to the gym, but I'm committed to it. I'm going anyway. You got to know what it is that you're trying to do. If it's, I want to be fit and trim, you got to keep that goal in your mind so that, a lot of people at work, they have desserts and stuff, cupcakes and junk laying around the aisle. It's so easy to walk by and go, oh, I'll have one. And then you're like, oh my God, there goes my thing I was trying to do. It's important to keep the goal in our mind and to visualize, because when you visualize, what happens is you're programming your subconscious so that when you're walking by that dessert table and you look over and you go, oh, there's a cupcake. Oh, I like a cup. No, I'm not going to have a cupcake. My goal is this. Because now your goal's in your mind and your visualization's reminding you, wait a minute, no, I've given up smoking. I'm a non-smoker. I smell the smoke, but I don't know. I'm not doing that. See how your good habits can help you persevere? And how we can retrain our subconscious so that it helps us persevere. It's not gritting your teeth, I'm going to do this if it kills me. And then embracing, loving the whole process. Because it's going to be boring at one point, And we love novelty. People love novelty. They want something different, even spirituality. It might be working for them, but they want something different. You know, oh, this stuff works, but oh, I'm bored. I want novelty. Well, if we really want success, you got to keep on keeping on and embrace, know why we're doing it. What are the benefits? And keep doing what's working and what's getting us results. Keep on keeping on. And lastly, know that you're not going to be perfect at it. We're not going to be perfect at any of it. We're going to slip. We're going to fall. We're going to make mistakes. There are going to be days where we don't do it perfectly, days where we are going to slip and we're not going to persevere, and that's okay. Jesus said, "Be thou perfect as the heavenly Father is perfect," but he was talking about your innate wholeness. He wasn't talking about your behavior. That we're committed, but there will be mistakes. Just like Paul, the golfer I mentioned earlier, he committed to doing it every day. He slipped 3 days. He didn't do it. Why? Because you're inwardly perfect, but we're not perfect. We're growing. We're growing. And so it's important to know we're never going to be perfect at this. So we might as well just love ourselves along the way. You see, I hope you're hearing this. This is a possibility. This is a possibility. We're not criticizing ourselves. We're not putting ourselves down right now. This is giving ourselves possibilities. Wow, I can achieve these goals if I will implement right habits, good habits, so that it's something that will lead you in that direction. That you can do this. You can do this. Other people have done it. You can do it. You're just as special as anybody else who's ever accomplished anything. You can do it. It doesn't matter what age you are. I hope we made that with the golfer earlier. It didn't matter. He's 90 years old. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. What is important to you? You can implement the habits and you can retrain your subconscious to do what it is that you want it to do, to serve you in a positive way. And don't worry if you slip or you fall or you do it imperfectly. That's okay. Just get back up and try it again and learn from it and grow from it. And when you forget, I'll be up here to remind you. Let's get still. Thank you, Father, Mother God, for your presence and activity in our lives. Thank you for revealing to us that which is important to us. What is it that I really, really want to experience and achieve in my life? Father, Mother God, thank you for helping me to get clear about where in my life could I improve? Where in my attitude can I improve? What area of my life can I bring to another level? Where am I playing small and I could play bigger? Father, Mother God, we hear the promise. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, and the promise of whatsoever I ask in prayer, believing I can receive. So what is it, Spirit? What is it, Lord, that I want to do, that I really, really want to do, that I'm willing to commit to, that I'm willing to show up for? And thank you for giving me the awareness to recognize the cues that trigger bad habits so that I can replace them with good habits that help me to move in the direction of what's important so that I can thrive in 2025. And so it is. Amen. All right. Well, let's do our prosperity celebration now. Let's acknowledge Spirit as the source of all of our good. And we lift up our eyes as Jesus did when he was faced with the crowd of 5,000 people, 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed all these people. And it says he lifted up his eyes and he gave thanks. What does that mean? It means kind of the theme of what we've been talking about as far as praying from the highest point of view. He turned his awareness from limitation and he turned it to the sense of God's allness, to the limitless flow and expression of Spirit. And so we turn our attention to the abundance of Spirit, and from this consciousness we bless our gifts today, knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. And now, Sahffi Lynne.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Sing along. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
All right, let's keep it going for our musicians today, Daniel Nahmod and Sahffi Lynne. Thank you all so much for being here with us. Next week, we're going to continue our series, Thrive in 2025. We're going to talk about Thrive with Peak Performance. Thrive with Peak Performance next Sunday. We're going to have a reminder that at 1 o'clock, What is Unity seminar. It's going to be hybrid. We're going to put the link in the chat for those of you online. It's going to be in person and also online, so the link will be in the chat as well. So we're going to do a prayer circle here right at the end of the service, which I'll lead, and then we'll have our online What is Unity. All right? Let's join together for our prayer for protection. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yea, God, and yea, you. God bless you. Namaste, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you.